Yeah.
So it's just you and me got to sit down without any guest around here. And
Now we can speak.
now we can finally speak also after a while.
But the crazy bit is that, like with you and me, we have this weird chemistry that we can just keep chatting and chatting and chatting, and it never ends.
I was seeing the comments also. That's when I got my first hate comment because I put my foot
fir-
towards it.
I got my first hate comment in the next one.
Yeah,
like with
like,
Likitha.
but the
First time in my life I understood what was cryptocurrency and what is this world. Because before, for me, I was like, cryptocurrency, I know, come
Yeah.
on, Ethereum, come on, this thing, that thing, but I actually never understood it. So for me, with Rohan, he actually explained it to me in such a way that I finally understood what it was.
because we were paying higher for our petroleum and for our diesel for a good 1-2 years. That excess actually has allowed us to withstand the Ukraine war and Russia.
But there are many people who are cheerleading, but the thing
But
is that...
no, but it's viewed in a way that, oh, you are become a bhakt. You're just blind to his
See, the thing is...
flaws.
First, you were supposed to do this podcast with Dumpy.
The original idea was me and Dumpy were supposed to do a podcast, and then Dumpy got a little lazy. So then
Yeah. I just want to say we had another episode of a lady which
got lost.
we got lost. So we must
Thanks to
apologize.
Santosh.
We have a friend of ours.
Of course, there's going to be corruption. What do you think?
yeah.
This system is run by human beings,
Yeah.
and you give a human being so much power,
Yeah.
you think he's not going to
But
be
yeah,
corrupt?
obviously. Yeah,
The only way we can progress as a society is
It's
debate
conversation.
and conversations.
Yeah.
Like what's going on in TV of Republic TV.
Yeah.
Here's 20 guys and okay,
No,
your turn,
everybody
shout.
shouting. Yeah,
Next,
yeah.
you shout.
No.
That's not how society should be talking about certain
exactly. It has
topics,
to
you
be.
know. And please follow the follows and
Follow
the
the
likes
podcast,
really
yeah.
does help us.
Yes.
If you don't, also we don't care.
Yeah.
So Shiraz, it's been a while
Yeah.
since just you and me got to sit down without any guest around here, and
Now we can speak.
now we can finally speak also after a while. But no, it's been quite a interesting, very fun journey.
Yeah, it's been a great journey.
Of doing this podcast, and I thought, like, it'll be nice to just go back and reminisce and think about our journey of the last couple of months of just interviewing, trying to introduce podcast culture
Yeah.
into Hyderabad. Like, how's this been for you actually?
For me, I mean, like, it's absolutely a new experience.
Yeah.
But the crazy bit is that, like, with you and me, we have this weird chemistry that we can just keep chatting and chatting and chatting, and it never ends. So it never feels like I'm doing any kind of
Yeah,
work.
like for a lot of people who don't know, they think there's a lot of scripting or something. There's none.
Yeah, zero.
There's none. We just meet up and it's like, okay, this guy, we're gonna talk about this. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, like, we just did a podcast with a friend of ours, and he just arrived, and we are like, what should we talk about? Okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And it went very organically. We do it absolutely non-scripted. We have nothing, like, we have some topics in mind.
Yeah.
But we take it as organically as possible. But
Yeah.
you tell me, have you found it difficult? Have have people ridiculed you saying, kya bol raha hai?
No, of course, everything comes with a little bit of obstacles where people are like, what is this? Is this an interview or what is that? But for me, I'll tell you, I don't spend any of my idle time listening to music or anything. I just listen to podcasts. I just love podcasts. I love absorbing knowledge.
I do too. Yeah.
And for me, it's like this is a perfect outlet to
Yeah.
actually go and learn. Like I remember our first guest we had was Shaun.
Yeah,
Shaun
man,
Heffernan.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Didn't get that many views that episode, but Shaun Heffernan was a gem to talk to.
Oh, super,
He's an
man.
Irish guy.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot. His
Yeah.
life, he's seen so much.
I mean, this mass murdering stuff that he went
He had a
oh my God,
babysitter who was a mass murderer.
That's
He was
crazy.
hit by a bus. He went through cancer.
Oh, wow, yeah, I
You
know.
know?
And he's a painter who lives at home with his really corporate wife.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of my favorite cricketers as well because he's so animated and so much fun.
One thing I like about that podcast is he explained why is he the way he is.
Of
Why
course,
is he
yeah,
such an
yeah.
extrovert? Why is he
Yeah.
so happy and full of joy in his life? He says, like,
yeah.
because you have to kind of, in a way, this is an experience which we're all going through. None of us know what it is.
Correct.
There's no script to it.
Correct.
You have to live this life and might as well choose the emotion of joy.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than sorrow.
I mean, it was really lovely of him to actually open up and say all of those things. And also, like, he was very, he was very raw. Yeah, he was very raw. And I think the reason why you said that it got the least amount of views is because I always feel that it's his accent. Not a lot of people can understand it. Like, you have to know and hang out with Shaun a lot more to kind of understand what he's saying and where he's coming from, So
but it's nice to see it from a different perspective as a Britisher living in India and how he views. So, like, one thing I realized was when we spoke about the topic of India and independence, he says, no, you didn't get independence. We chose to leave. Now, maybe he was told some different thing in his history books as well.
That's his point of view.
Because in every way, whichever history you're taught, like in Pakistan, for example, they will tell that, oh, we got independence, whereas in India, will say, oh, that we broke away. So it's just the power is in the narrator's hand, basically, in that way. Of course.
And after that, we had Tharun Bhascker, who spoke to us so much about...
Tharun Bhascker was our most watched episode.
Most watched, like that was our episode that got the most views.
And
of course I was following, and
I was seeing the comments also. That's when I got my first hate comment because I put my foot towards it.
I got my first hate comment in the next one.
But Tarun's episode, I loved the fact that we went deep into not only his films, we went deep into the art of filmmaking. And he's such a good listener.
He is.
He was not trying to hog the limelight. There was a big phase where you and I were just talking and he's just like observing
and the beautiful part about him is that, like, we know him since school and he's made it really big. He was from nothing to everything that he has today. His humility, everything was really good about that episode, and we got to learn so much more about his journey, and that was really, really good.
Like, one quote which he said, which kind of stuck with me, was he said, whoever, like, a lot of people try and make this media for themselves. It says, if there's no human being left on the earth, will I still make this? Will I still make movies? No, you're making the movies for certain audiences. Correct. So their opinion definitely does matter. So he definitely, like, in the end, no matter how much we'd like to say that, oh yeah, I don't give a damn, you have to kind of give a damn if you're in that particular field. And for a guy like him who is...
The other thing that he said was you have to keep dancing, and you have to be relevant, constantly be relevant.
Because he is very well aware of the fact that he is a little bit in the limelight right now. He's getting people going around, but he knows it's not permanent.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing we took away from that episode was fame is definitely not permanent. Nothing is permanent.
Yeah, and what I like is stardom has not hit him.
Oh yeah, for
sure. It's not changed
very
him.
Humble, grounded.
He's very humble. He still likes to make the little jokes. He likes to ask questions. Because usually when you meet people in the industry, they like to say, oh yeah, I don't talk, or they act very aloof. He's very glued on, and
he is.
That was interesting.
And even with our first female guest,
Likitha was also very, very interesting. A lot of girls loved the way she spoke. Not even girls, guys as well. Like because before, when we were going into that episode, we all thought that there's going to be a little bit of male bashing. But she actually did not do any of that. She actually explained very well the perspective of a girl.
Of course.
Because we keep on saying, oh, if you're a girl, go do it as well. But the thing is, the world has been shaped by men. And it's always been in a way, but we just see women as we see them as, oh, you're a woman is always like that. No, they're half of humanity, and obviously they have their own opinions, their own path. Not every woman wants to be a homemaker and have kids.
Exactly. And another thing that I learned was that, how her growth through an entrepreneur was. Like, for her, I remember her telling me that, like, first when she went for some meeting to meet some guy who was, an agriculture guy, and he was like, this is not your place. He told her directly, and she had to mediate through someone else for that one. So the tough battles that anybody has, it's obviously lovely to know and to understand what they have been through.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very interesting to see, and she's doing very well for herself. Her company, Terra Greens, it's not only in Hyderabad, it's growing. It's going to be pretty big, and it's amazing to see her work ethic and how she's just refuse to give in.
Yeah,
Because a lot of times the society is just forcing you, saying, relax, sit at home, you have enough money in the bank account, just sit. Why do you have to do this? There's no need.
Yeah.
A lot of people might say, yeah, actually, I really don't need to do this. Why should I wake up and do this? Let me just enjoy. But she's actually going at it, and that was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
One other episode which I really, really enjoyed, didn't also get that many views, but I really enjoyed was Rohan. Rohan Goud. We were talking about NFT and
cryptocurrency. He gave me, I actually, first time in my life, I understood what was cryptocurrency and what is this world. Because before, for me, I was like, cryptocurrency, I know, come on, Ethereum, come on, this thing, that thing. But I actually never understood it. So for me, with Rohan, he actually explained it to me in such a way that I finally understood what it was.
And he didn't dumb it down too much also.
He did not.
He was giving his abbreviations and we were like, what is DeFi, what is this?
No, but like, I felt that that was one of the most informative episodes that we've had. Like, we got a lot to learn from that episode. And I think for us, we were very quiet during that episode. We were just asking questions. So what will happen if this happens? So which episode which money should we spend? I mean, like, which cryptocurrency should we put in? But
the bad luck was the day we released the next day the crypto market crashed.
It was insane.
It crashed very badly.
Yeah, it is still in tatters.
So I speak to Rohan, I met him and I said, are you still invested? He says, bro, this is just it's a normal year. It is a phase. It is a bad crash, of course, but it's not a sort of a crash where people have lost faith in the institutions. It is basically one or two of the currencies which is very popular, which is pegged to the dollar. They found a loophole in how to in order to pull off what was done on that particular currency. I'm forgetting the name of the currency which crashed. But Solana, I think, probably. It was pegged to the dollar. So it was considered like a stable coin. It was considered a stable currency. And basically...
Terra, Luna or something.
Luna, exactly. Luna. And then basically someone with $1 billion worth of crypto was able to play against it. And then it crashed. Only when... So that loophole was found. But again, those same loopholes are not existing in Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. So a lot of people... Plus, at the same time, the markets crash and people said rather than having this money stuck in this, they just pulled it off. But it is definitely an industry which is the future.
Of course.
But you have to choose very wisely. As he said, like, if you understand the frameworks of it, it's not going to get replaced. There's no way that stable currency, like our notes and coins, will overpower this.
Yeah, exactly the opposite. We had Revant, who was telling us the other side of the coin, where, markets and everything. But Revant's episode was also very informative, I feel, but a lot of it went over my head, like, because Revant is very technical, he's a very technical guy. He's very knowledgeable, he's very technical. But a lot of things that he said, I felt was like, oh my God, ye kya bol raha hai? Bouncer ja raha hai mere ko.
Because the thing is, for us, we are very in the basic field of understanding the stock market. It's just we own the stock, we sell the stock, profit.
Exactly.
He's more into the bigger fields of wealth management. And he's not shy to say that, boss, don't enter the stock market.
Exactly.
He was not like a salesman who was like, please enter.
He was not
He's
like
that. Don't. If you have this and that, there's no other choice. You have to join the stock market if you're expecting more than 5%, 8%. So it is definitely very interesting. It's especially like because the stock market kind of in a way explains what the confidence of society.
Of course.
And how he explained there's different facets of the market, the different sorts of problems he goes through, how different people have different views and problems, and how he kind of explains it. That was very, very interesting.
It was very interesting. I mean, like, after what he laid down, I also like had my eyes open to like a few things that I would not have thought about earlier, because I have not had any kind of education in this sort of system. So I learned a lot from there as well.
So after Revant, we went to Vineti Bolaki. Vineti Bolaki was also a very, very interesting episode.
That was a fun one.
That was a very fun one. So when Vineti came in, it was expecting that there will be a certain script and then you will ask this and that, and we're like, hello, even we don't have any idea how the conversation will go.
But we're not going to name what, but there was a thing where she wanted me to line her up for a question that she could knock out the park.
No, of course, you were asking about the, if I ask you what is the one thing in Sidra's
whatever,
closet.
Anyway, then let's not say what she asked, but
whatever, we can give a spoiler. That was the only time it was a little bit scripted.
A little bit, yeah.
No, but I remember there was one point where he was just going on and on, where you were talking about, is fashion an expression or an aspiration?
Yeah.
And I was just going on, and both of you were at it, and you were not giving up, neither was she. And I was like, guys, stop it. It's you inspire it to express. Big deal.
Okay, no, I definitely understand, but I always feel that the fashion industry is something that definitely inspires you. And yeah, it is a form of expression also. So both is actually true. But at that point in time, I think it was a point to be proven sort of situation, and both of us went at it.
No, but how she explained that, see, fashion is something which affects every human.
Yeah.
Every
100%.
human being is wearing clothes. Forget the odd nudist, but everyone else is concerned about clothes. They have an opinion of clothes.
Yeah, 100%.
This is the way you express yourself.
That's your personality.
Yeah, and you see history through the clothes being worn.
Yes.
And it was definitely very, very interesting.
She gave the thing about how women kind of like even progressed by the different kinds of clothing, and you know how it was how it changed for them. And we had a big discussion about shoes as well.
That's big as well. How Jordans and all different sorts of shoes and bags. It's very, very interesting. It was a nice episode. I loved it.
But Battimaster Dumpy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Battimaster Dumpy was good fun.
It was.
Because we were getting into this little bubble of just agreeing with each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were giving us this feedback like, hey, when's the masala? When's the fight? Because we know you and Shiraz have different opinions. So okay. So we needed Dumpy to actually ignite that flame.
But I also feel like, see, maybe we have different schools of thought. Maybe we follow your right wing and I'm left to center. But that does not mean that we do not agree on things. You know, like though Dumpy asked us many questions, the weird thing was that maybe like 30% of things we agreed on.
Somewhat,
somewhat. We agreed on some things.
Our main thing is, of course, as to the leadership of the country.
Yeah, I think that's it. Their political views.
Political leadership. I'll tell you where I'm coming from is the fact, to explain to people. I've been following politics. I'm like a politics nerd.
Yeah.
I've been following politics since 1998.
Right.
Vajpayee times.
Yeah.
I've been following. And I've seen different governments come and go. I've seen Manmohan Singh. I've been seeing Sonia's and different governments. And I realized, like, we as Indians, we have this problem that we always keep blaming the government. We always say, yes, government se nahi ho payega. But then you look back and say, arey yaar, when Vajpayee was there, it was good. Oh yaar, when Manmohan was there, it was good. But it's just like, what is wrong with the fact of cheerleading a government which is currently in power?
But there are many people who are cheerleading. But the thing is
but it's viewed in a way that, oh, you are become a bhakt. You're just blind to his flaws.
See, the thing is, it's not only about becoming a bhakt, I feel. It's always having that opposition and listening to the opposition also. And the opposition is going to blame you. This is what it is. Like, see, it cannot be that, okay, now I agree with whatever you do. That is an opposition.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
No, of course. They can't be fancy of always believing.
Yeah,
exactly. Of course. No, but I'll tell you, like, the current, like, for example, what is happening in the world today. Pakistan's economy is almost destroyed. Sri Lanka's has been destroyed. They have more debt to GDP ratio.
Yes, but we should never be comparing ourselves to Pakistan and Sri Lanka.
As an example, getting to my thought, even Bangladesh, which we thought was very well ahead of us, now they're having a foreign exchange problem. Now, and this is all we are in a more comfortable position. We have much higher forex reserves because we were paying higher for our petroleum and for our diesel for a good 1-2 years. That excess actually has allowed us to withstand the Ukraine war and Russia and all what's happening.
I feel that we did not.
Whereas if Congress was in power, when in Manmohan Singh's time, they were giving subsidies to keep it down because they thought, oh, this will bring down inflation. But actually giving subsidies to petroleum and diesel products does not bring down inflation.
See, I would not agree where you feel that like all the economic policies of this government is not and all the financial policies of the previous government are not those were right and these are wrong and these were right or that are wrong. I think both of them have their flaws and have their positives as well. And Manmohan Singh government as well, like he was a born economist only. Yeah, and he had some really, really good policies as well. But of course, he had his flaws. So does this government. So therefore, what we need is not only one voice, but an active opposition also. The only problem that currently I have with this government is I feel that the government is not. Before it was a war between two political parties. Okay, if Congress was in power, it did not mean that BJP and all the people who are funding BJP and around BJP were getting raided by the ED, the CBI and the ATF.
The dirty tricks.
The dirty tricks. But it is a much more prominent thing in the BJP government. They don't let before the threat is there only, they neutralize it using their infrastructure. So the government, the fight is not between two political parties, but one with India's infrastructure and another political party. So that is something that I feel that should not be there. It should be a fair fight. 100%. And that takes me aback. And I'm not saying that he has not done good for the country. Of course, we have progressed. But I feel that like the quest to stay in power is overseeing our democratic part of the constitution, because a lot of rights and things are being subdued by the use of these tactics and these forces, that these departments that they have under them. So that is something that is taking me
holding you back.
Holding me back.
I understand. But one thing I liked about the Dumpy episode was it was not all political. We ended it off on a nice note, which we all like, as of cricket.
Yeah, dude, I always.
As the only time we actually got to speak about cricket. Me and Shiraz can actually talk about cricket for days.
I think we must do one cricket episode. We have to do one.
We'll get one cricketer as well to chime in.
I feel that we both should do more, because in our every episode.
Not many people watch that episode, unfortunately.
Why not?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, I don't know why in our circles, nowadays the amount of people who watch cricket religiously has dropped. In the 90s and all, everyone just watched cricket. Now FIFA and all Formula 1 and all of them has really taken over as well in the urban mindset, of course.
The problem is that cricket has been diluted too much.
Too much cricket.
Not too much cricket. There's before, you used to wait for that India-Pakistan match or that India-Australia series for 2 years.
Yeah.
Now it's we are seeing them play in the IPL every third day.
Too few countries, unfortunately.
Chalega, they're doing one more
but you know what's happening? Well, you don't realize. The IPL, because now Jay Shah, who's Amit Shah's son, he's now worked it out with ICC that window when IPL is happening, there will be no ICC games. So now he wants to realize the dream of having IPL twice a year, and now they're launching an IPL UAE version. So they'll have a Mumbai Indians UAE version.
But I feel
with a mix, and then they're also getting into the South African IPL.
But here's my situation: if they do this, then the infrastructure of India is going to be so far ahead of anybody else. Look at for example,
that's not his main goal. We are already number one.
No, we are already number one. So where are we going to watch the cricket? That's where it's getting diluted. That's where I feel that over a period of time, he's doing really good, and now there'll be so many more IPL matches. But that thing to see the World Cup, or the thing to see India win against Australia, or the thing to see India win in New Zealand, to whack Pakistan, is all going out the window, because we're not. There's an India match, I don't even know the team that is picked. Before, I used to discuss on every single player that was picked, isko kyun nahi liya, isko kyun liya, Ashwin ko kya zarurat hai, ya Harbhajan ki kya zarurat hai, whatever. But now the recent series is against who? West Indies, no? Kiske saath? Just finished West Indies, and now they're playing
Zimbabwe.
So Zimbabwe, I have not I don't even know who's playing in the team.
Yeah. No, it's bad. And especially Kohli. Since we last spoke, still now Kohli's still not improved his form yet. I hope by the time this episode airs, he would have.
But I feel something with Kohli is that we are judging him on his own standard. That is his problem. Like, you know.
No, but now
because
his average is
standard-
gone in the 30s and all. It's very
No,
sad.
but that's why we feel that he's failing now at a regular play. If Kohli was not Kohli and you saw him playing regularly, like if you were Manish Pandey, you know, and he came and he scored the 70, 30, 70, 30,
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, we
you'd
would
be
still
like,
say
yeah,
great
अच्छा player
player,
है, क्या
yeah.
अच्छा player है. Lekin we are looking
I
at
do-
Kohli.
The thing is, we got spoiled by Sachin.
yeah.
Sachin was too good.
Too good.
He was too
No, but
good. He
he-
didn't have a phase as bad as Kohli's.
Yeah.
And Sachin got 100 centuries.
But
and we thought, Kohli will beat it, no
Aram se,
problem.
aram se, pata hai,
the way
aram se.
Kohli started.
Yeah.
And now you're realizing, wow.
That is not easy. It is not
not
easy.
at all
It's
easy.
not easy.
Yeah, it's definitely. And Sachin
But
was.
I think the best batsman in the world currently is Joe Root.
Joe Root is.
Yeah, he's just phenomenal.
It annoys me.
Yeah, it
that
annoys me.
last
It
test
fucks
match,
me,
the
yeah.
fifth test match, India, England, and I was like, we've set a target of 370. We should win this easily.
Yeah.
And Joe Root and Bairstow just took
killed
it.
I think
Just took
Bairstow was the hero of the tournament.
Because Kohli sledged him, and it was
I
unnecessary.
mean, I don't feel. Yeah.
Why should Kohli keep your mouth shut, man?
Any other time in history, if Kohli sledged him, it would have been like Kohli bhai bol diya, khatam ho gaya types like
No,
that.
but nowadays people should realize that sledging the person is actually going to encourage them to really get into the game. Just keep your mouth shut. Let it go.
Yeah.
No, but when we were just talking about Dumpy's episode, what I liked was Dumpy got into the role of hosting it so easily, seamlessly. He was just at it.
And the good thing was, I think, when telling our viewers a little bit about this thing, first you were supposed to do this podcast with Dumpy.
The original idea was me and Dumpy were supposed to do the podcast, and then Dumpy got a little lazy. So then Shiraz came in. So, of course, but no, always we'll keep getting Dumpy on back and forth as well to always love his energy.
Of course. So, that's why I feel that he got into it so seamlessly because I think he was part of Genesis. So maybe it was
very seamless for him. And then moving on, we had Dr. Pingle. That was I've got a lot of compliments on that episode because he really explained something on the life of a doctor and how we just don't see that perspective.
So that was the first and last episode till date that I did not know more things to say because we used to ask him like a question and he was so concise, informative and like to the point that in like 5 minutes he would give us the answer and we would be like, oh shit, what do we do next?
There was moments I was looking at you like,
what do we do next? Like,
let's talk about homeopathy, guys.
Because he was really good. Like he was really, really good at what he did.
How he spoke about mental depression and all of that stuff. That was a very, very nice angle he had taken. And sometimes he's also not ashamed to say, I don't know. Some things, he was
That's
not
fair. Like, you must be able to say you don't know. Like, you learn. You don't know everything.
One interesting thing which I got into, we were speaking about placebos, where homeopathy, is it a placebo or not? He said, we give a lot of medicine which are placebos. What?
Yeah, but I think that's a lot of people do that. And another thing that he told me as well was about debunking like all of these home remedies. Like he was like, does, for example, drinking cow urine help you? I was like, no, obviously not. Like, but I felt that he was candid and he was very, very open and he said what he believed in, which was absolutely fantastic, and it went off seamlessly. It was a seamless episode.
Then there was an episode with my dad. Mr. Veer Vijay Singh. And we spoke about hotel industry and his experience. Vast, rich experience. I asked questions which I never asked him as a son.
Oh, really? But that's a good thing. You have the platform to do that. But before we get into your dad's, I just want to say we had another episode of a lady which we got lost. So we must apologize. We have a friend of ours who does this for us.
But it was also a good episode.
It was a very good episode, but we want to mention her here because she's missed out. We've recorded, but we lost it.
We'll film it again for sure.
We'll try and film it again. And anyway, coming back to your dad, learnt a lot from that episode as well, to all his experience in the hotel industry for so long. And, we've always looked at him as if this legend of Taj Krishna or the Taj Hotels. He thought he is the owner. And
the most interesting thing is, even I couldn't follow in my career with Four Seasons. he stuck with one company for 40 years. That's
But-
loyalty.
Yeah, it's loyalty. That's what.
Today, when I do a lot of interviews in the hotel industry, and I see like a 28-year-old, and I see his CV is like 4 pages, he's jumped every 6 months because they just don't have loyalty to their band. Whereas they had this thing of they gave me a chance, I'm going to go all the way with them. And the knowledge, like he started off as a trainee chef and ended up as the COO of the company.
Yeah.
Like
of course.
only a company
That's
like Tata can actually allow that.
I mean,
Regardless.
another thing that we spoke about was he was very involved in making the Vivanta brand. He said that the Viva name came from Genesis was there. So to reach that kind of level, it's not easy. And
It's not at all
Yeah,
easy.
it's not easy. And it was really good to hear from him.
Yeah. Then moving on, we spoke about a lot of history with Yunus.
Yeah.
The-
Yunus gave us a lot of insight about
the episode is a little bit all over the place because there's history
there's-
coming from here, there, there.
a lot of information.
Lot of information,
Yeah.
but good information.
Good information,
Very
yeah.
good. Like I had no idea for a lot of stuff. I've lived in Hyderabad a big chunk of my life. He gave me some information I had no idea about. So as to when you see Hyderabad, it's a very friendly city, and why is it got such a less sort of a communal tension is mainly because of the history of how the Iranians came in and how they've been there from before, and it was very interesting.
He gave us a lot of insight on how how Telugu people were there, and how it was ruled on by the Iranians, and how they came in as traders rather than conquerors before. So I think there's a little more harmony there. It was a really, really good one.
No, I know it. And I think we should get him on for future podcasts talking about just general history, because history is so rich.
Oh, of course.
And it's very interesting. Like
we should do some more these things. I think we should do the walk also with him.
We should.
Yeah.
He organizes these walks, and he's very he has his own podcast. He's very bindas. He said, just start. No need to talk. Let's just start. And
he was good. He was very
good.
Yeah, so another really interesting episode was Sashwath. I mean, to hear about his granddad's story really gave me goosebumps, and his kind of his views and his ambitions for his new party as well. Are quite quite commendable.
We got a rare peek into what it's like in the party, in the Congress party, and he actually gave an unfiltered version of what it was like, why he left. That was very interesting as to, because a lot of people, they like to keep shush about it because what if I rejoin? He was very like, I'll talk about Congress. I'll bitch about it.
He was super candid, and
but
then the things that he said as well. But the main thing was his grandfather's story about
that was very interesting.
How
I've heard so much
passed.
about his grandfather's great, but I never really knew the backstory of it. And the struggle which he went through. He actually had to see his own brother die of starvation. And from how he educated himself from that level to educating himself to become the top lawyers in the country,
to be the law minister,
to be the right hand man of Indira Gandhi.
The right hand man of Indira Gandhi.
He held back some information as well, but there was actually, he was a very, very strong, there were some newspaper articles that his grandfather was one of the top 3 people running India in the 70s.
He
was very much up there. And Shashwath as well, he had a very deep understanding of politics, and he didn't have any sort of a bias as such. He says, BJP is also there, Congress is also there. It's a bit of everything. He kind of understood that. He's getting into the whole political game with his own party as well. He was also very candid about talking about, there are difficulties. If it works, it works. It doesn't work, whatever.
Yeah, no, but that's the good thing about him. Like, he is very real about what he wants to do. And I think his way of going about things as well, he's set. Like, he knows, okay, this is what I want to do and this is how it's going to go. I mean, of course, at that view, he's had a few setbacks as well with the Congress party, and then he had to change his path, whatever. But more power to him. Hopefully he does well, and we'll have one of our very close friends and somebody who's in. If he gets into power, it'll be good.
It's just that the field of politics. It's such a mucky field, and how he actually explained corruption. That's one of my favorite parts of all the podcasts we've done, is how he explained that Of course, there's going to be corruption. What do you think? This system is run by human beings, and you give a human being so much power. You think he's not going to be corrupt?
Obviously.
Because we always like to, as citizens, we blame this politician's corrupt. But if I'm in that position, I don't know. I might also take that 10 crore bribe compared, So who are we to say that this person's corrupt? Maybe in us, we are innate corrupt.
But the other thing that he said is also absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, so he's not wrong. And of course, as human beings, I feel that we are obviously flawed. Like we're not like built to be. We have guilt. We have the 7 sins in us. We have like greed, things like that. So once you get that kind of power, I feel that it's very hard. You have to be a very, very kind of special kind of human being not to kind of get carried away by the the monetary gains, power, whatever you come with, whatever comes with it.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then, of course, we spoke to Kartik Shekar.
Yeah.
A very different field about music.
Yeah.
And his story as well, talking about how he was working along, but he was so passionate. He's such a passionate person that he got into the world of DJing at a little bit late stage in his life as well, at the age of 27, 28 as well. Yeah. But he actually got into it and he's doing a great job, and we had a very interesting podcast with him.
I've known Kartik all my life. Like we've known each other for almost 15 years or something now. And we've practically grown up together. And we've grown in this scene together. Of course, he's taken a different path and become a DJ and whatever. But I've seen that guy grow, like from the child that he was to the mature kind of understanding, emotional human being that he is now. And with all the experiences that he's had, he's become so much more mature and so much better at what he does. And I see so much growth potential. Like, like there are some people you can see ki, okay, theek hai, kar raha hai, but अभी इतना जाके आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता. Like, in this field, like he can never achieve this much. But I've seen this guy grow year after year after year after year. He's just only growing. So you see
he's
that
like an example of the fact that what are you worried about?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the worst that can happen if you try something new? Exactly. Someone will laugh at you, they'll forget. And that's it. Like same thing when a lot of people say, oh, why are you doing podcasts, this and that. I'm like, so what? I'm enjoying it. You're enjoying it.
Exactly.
We're meeting new people. Like it's fun, and we're not in it for the monetary gain or anything like that. I think it's a part of how conversation should be. The only way we can progress as a society is debate and conversations. Like what's going on in TV of Republic TV. Here's 20 guys and okay, your turn, shout. Next, you shout. That's not how society should be talking about certain topics. There's so many things happening in current affairs and the opinions people have, and we must. And some people say, oh, why don't you have a shorter podcast or like 20 minutes? I said, you can't get.
But podcasts don't work that way.
They don't work that way.
You have to get deep into it.
We don't edit anything. We put in anything. We have our bloopers. We put in the bloopers also. Sometimes we've had rainfall or lights falling.
Like a person come and get
your Apple Watch ringing.
It's been crazy.
All of these things. But we know for a fact that once you start the camera and the first 1 or 2 minutes the guest is a little bit awkward, then they get into it and then they just forget that the camera is rolling.
Because I feel that that is also with you and I feel that we can have that conversation. We never let it, like, if I have nothing to say, you definitely have something to say. And if you don't have something to say, I have definitely something to say. So so it always works. And it's always comfortable. We have a decent comfortable vibe.
Yeah, we definitely. And I because for me as kids also, like whenever I would always come with these questions which would be like very out of there. I would never be like, oh, how does it feel? I would always be like, oh, wow, so what is that angle? So I'm really enjoying it. I know you are as well, and looking forward to doing many more.
In the end, I have to give credit to our friend Mr. Rishabh for giving us this beautiful space to kind of film in.
Thank you. We'll get him on board as well.
Hopefully we'll get him on board soon.
We'll get some many more actors and celebrities, architects, different people.
In the meanwhile, like, subscribe.
Yes. And please follow. The follows and the likes podcast, really does help us. If you don't also, we don't care.
It's
whatever.
Right.
Go on, next video.
Thank you so much.